The Tiobe Index for January 2024. January headline, C# is programming language of the year.
Bruh.
How did they come up with that one? For the first time in history of the Tiobe Index, C# has won the Programming Language of the Year award. Congratulations! C# has been a top 10 player for more than 2 decades. Now that is catching up with the big 4 languages. It won the well-deserved award by being the language with the biggest uptick in 1 year, plus 1.43%. Runners-up are Scratch. All of a sudden, this article is like making 10 times more sense. It cannot get worse than having Scratch as second place. And Fortran, fuck, it actually got worse. That actually got worse. I have never stood corrected so fast in my entire lifetime as in 2 words. I gotta meet the person who writes this horse. All right, anyways, C# is eating market share from Java, really, and is getting more and more popular in domains such as web application, backends, and games, thanks to Unity. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. C# can be used free of charge and involves, oh, dude, name a language that's been charged for, since when? Like, I mean, Borland compilers, I guess, existed at one point. JavaScript, it doesn't cost money to write. You just lose part of your soul. You know, it's like, come on. MATLAB? Okay. I don't know this MATLAB business. I guess I don't ever use MATLAB. You can MATLAB on these nuts, okay? Let's see. It involves in a steady pace, making the language more expressive every new release. C# is here to stay and might even surpass Java soon. Apart from C#, there was a lot of interesting changes in the Tiobe Index last year. Fortran and Kotlin became permanent top 20 players, replacing old-time favorites R and Perl. Who's ever said any of those words, ever? Who's ever said, you know my old-time favorite R? Said nobody, ever. Fortran is very fit to crunch numbers with good libraries and remains university favorite in lots of domains. What? Kotlin is easy to learn / write competitor of Java. Interesting question. What languages will enter the Tiobe Index top 20 in 2024? I guess I'm not that interested considering Fortran's number 2 or 3 and Scratch is number 2. This article is too stupid to be an AI article. I hope you understand that. This article is not mid enough to be an AI article, okay? Like, you have to be a lot more mid to actually be an AI article. Let's see. This is very hard to pick. Julia touched the Tiobe Index briefly in 2023, but couldn't keep that position. Maturity of Julia language and community is needed to get a second chance. I've heard a lot of great things about Julia. I would put my bets on Dart with Flutter and TypeScript. The latter is already heavily used in industry, but for some reason it is not breaking through the Tiobe Index yet. There's 20 positions, and you're telling me that TypeScript ain't on those 20 positions? What? Like, I don't love TypeScript, but damn, I know it's used a lot. And Scratch is on there? I don't think Netflix has a single library written in Scratch. The latter is already heavily used in the industry, but for some reason not breaking through yet. Let's see what 2024 has installed. Paul Jansen, CEO of Tiobe Software. Okay, Paul. All right, so how do they do that? So how is the index created? Does anyone, let's see, hold on. Let's see, where is it? Okay, the Tiobe Programming Community Index is an indicator of popularity of programming languages. The index is updated once a month. The ratings are based on a number of skilled engineers worldwide, courses, and third-party vendors. Popular search engines such as Google, Bing, Did it just say popular search engine? And then named a company that got renamed and purchased years ago? Wikipedia also would be called a search engine. Hard to call Amazon a search engine. I mean, I guess you could say it's a search engine for buying products. Okay, interesting. It is important to note that Tiobe Index is not about the best programming language or the language in which most lines of code has been written. Okay, then. Well, that sums up a lot right there. Baidu definitely counts, for sure. But that sums up a lot right there. It's not about how often people are writing the code, okay? That's not what makes it popular. Isn't that like the truest measurement is how much it's being used? Also, I would just like to say that they put C# as number 1, but it's number 1 in change. Like, I can't even organize it according to change. Yeah, Java, anyways. Okay, January Python, then C. Oh, C is dropping. C is hurting, people. C++, Java, C#, JavaScript, PHP. Visual Basic is 8. Squeal. Scratch coming in at number 10. Scratch beating Go. Scratch is higher than Go. It's official. Scratch is higher than Go. Go sucks. Go is literally terrible. Fortran. Delphi / Object Pascal. I want to know the son of a bitch that's programming in here. Who made this? MATLAB? Assembly language. What? Assembly on the way down? How was assembly language, whatever that means, in 9th place? Who's rolling hand artisanal assembly? Senior Scratch engineer needed ASAP. Quickly. Swift, okay. Apparently it's going down. Swift seems like a pretty interesting language. Kotlin, these nuts. Dang it. I keep highlighting things and accidentally clicking it. Ruby, it's up. Ruby's up. DHH wrote one more application. Yes, Association raw dogged some assembly. All right, let's go. Rust, it's down. Oh shit, COBOL is up. COBOL's about to overtake Rust on this shitty website. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What am I looking at? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? D? TypeScript on their proprietary measurement system is 14 ranks lower than D and F# and Fox Pro and Ada and classic Visual Basic. Not even Visual Basic, classic. Okay, it's like classic WoW. It's hardcore mode. Prologue. TypeScript lost to Prologue. I've never even heard of X++. What the hell is Objective-C doing on this list? Perl? Perl is more popular than TypeScript. I mean, don't get me wrong. Julia sounds interesting. But to pretend that Julia is more popular than TypeScript is the world's dumbest measurement. Visual Basic, Prologue, VB Script, Perl, Objective-C, Dart, Julia, and X++, all ranked higher than TypeScript. I've literally never heard of X++. Genuinely, I don't even know what X++ is. Is X++ when I pay for Twitter? What the hell is X++? Please stop citing the Tiobe index. Okay, what is Tiobe? Tiobe Programming Community Index is an indicator of popularity of programming languages. The index is updated once a month. It is important to note that the Tiobe index is not about the best programming language or the language in which most lines of code have been written. The index can be used to check whether your programming skills are still up to date or to make strategic decisions about what programming languages should be adopted when starting new software systems. Which means, taking that exact statement, I would strongly recommend you consider using COBOL if you're currently using the likes of TypeScript. Okay, so if you're using TypeScript, I would just personally recommend COBOL because COBOL's actually more popular on this index, whereas your TypeScript's kind of old, a little deprecated, probably not the right choice. But if you're not a COBOL fan, which understandably, I get it, you're not one, okay? You don't like Grace Hopper, okay? Whatever. I don't know why. You're just being angry about it. I would suggest Scratch, a high contender, okay? Beating out Go. Normally, I would suggest Go, but since Go's no longer soup de jour, it's actually Scratch, okay? So Scratch really is where all the wins are gonna happen. Scratch is literally for children. A programming language index. By the way, Tiobe is clearly. The CEO, Paul Jensen, or whatever the guy's name was, is obviously not a programmer. Like, it's obvious this guy has no effing clue. He is running a consulting company, and they should get him out immediately. You should never use Tiobe, okay? If you are currently using that, run. Run as fast as you... Okay, I don't like TypeScript. I'm not shy of going against modern trends. But whatever you think of modern trends, Tiobe does not represent modern trends at all. I would say that they're top 5. Close, right? Python, probably a good bet. You probably shouldn't start a project in C. You probably shouldn't start a project in C++. You could get away with Java or C#. Honestly, it's just a lot of talent out there still using Java and C#. You know what I mean? You will always find people that know how to use those two. So Python, Java, C#, you're going to find the right things. C++, games, yeah, reasonable. C, hardware, embedded, I don't know. It's kind of wild, though, at the same time. Okay? It's kind of wild. Anyways, let's see why. A programming language index that helps us choose which language we should use sounds useful. How does Tiobe calculate this index? You might not believe this, but they count the number of search engine results for each programming language, not the number of people querying, not the number of queries they are making, not sentiment. It relies entirely on the useless number that the search engine reports. To give themselves a veneer of being data-driven, they don't check just one search engine, Google.com. They check several, Bing.com, Google.D's nuts, also D's nuts, and a few others. But 25 useless sources isn't any better than one useless source. They actually check XQC. They actually call up XQC on the phone and say, yo, I know you're incredible at Overwatch. Pro material. But XQC, come in. I'm going to give you 35 individual words, and I want you to rank them according to Overwatch's potential characters. And you tell me which one sounds the best. C obviously came in really high. Python. Python sounds like a really good Overwatch character. Python. I should say it with Thor's voice. Python. Python is a great character for Overwatch. All right, so although it has 25 million Google results, I would not recommend programming in this language. XKCD programming language. It's a good point. XKCD programming language, though very popular, may not be your first reach for a language. The Absurdities and the Tiobe. So what kind of output do we see in this garbage input? Well, let's look at broad trends. Maybe this will allow some strategic decisions. Okay, Java and C, very high still. In 2016 and 17, the trend lines for the top 2 languages in the Java green and C black collapsed. Java dropped by 42%. C was even worse at 62%. What was happening? Was the demand collapsing or the supply? No other language was gaining at their expense. So maybe we're seeing a software industry recession. Should we prioritize rewriting our apps and our Java apps? Turns out C and Java both rose dramatically in 2018, regaining their 2016 levels. I guess Google was tinkering with their search algorithm. I hope no one made any decisions based on this data. I hope no one made, say, an index based on that, because that would be crazy. Maybe instead of trends, we could look at the ranking of specific languages. On any passable metric like GitHub PR, Stack Overflow questions, or developer survey jobs, problem with Stack Overflow questions is that it naturally selects for a specific individual. Stack Overflow is largely indexed by complete rookies and overbearing regex users. Elder Reddit mods, as I like to call them. Elder Reddit mods are a real thing. All right, so now you're probably wondering why Visual Basic is so high. It didn't used to be. In March 4th, 2020, 0.7%. But why in the world was it entering? Let's see. But when the world was entering lockdown, VB exploded in popularity. 29 days later, it had grown by 6x, reaching 4.72%. I don't understand that at all. It has remained ascendant since. By the way, no other source is able to back this up. Not Google search trends, Stack Overflow questions, or anything else. Only Tiobe thinks this happened. What the hell? Why are they allowing Visual Basic to be so high? What is happening? To put Absurdity into context, Visual Basic is more than twice as large as Swift and Objective-C combined. The entire iOS, iPadOS, and watchOS Mac ecosystem is apparently half the size of the mighty Visual Basic ecosystem. That actually might be true. Is it? Giga Chad devs? Are you sure? True and based? True, based, and obviously correct, Chad, Tradwife. Let's go. Assembly language, number 8. Okay, well, first off, again, you keep using this word. Is either too high because no one programs in assembly or too low because isn't all programming languages ultimately assembly? Yes. Either way, the ranking is wrong. Factual and correct. Nobody except for like TLS, specifically crypto TLS stuff, hand rolls assembly, but every programming language eventually becomes assembly. Therefore, checkmate, it should be number 1. Sadly, the market for Logo, number 48, programming seems way down. Back in its heyday, it was high as 21 on Tiobe. I've literally never heard of Logo. This is the programming language that involves moving turtles across the screen. That can't be real. When I was a young child, one of my best friends was a turtle. Not a real turtle, although that would have been fun, but a virtual one. My turtle lived inside an Apple II, an early 8-bit computer at my elementary school. When I first met her, my turtle, she didn't do much. She just sat there. It didn't take long for me to realize that in order to get her to do something, I would need to prompt her. To do this, there was a literal prompt on the screen beckoning me to type something. And so I typed forward, thinking that this should obviously move the turtle forward. Not enough inputs to forward. Undeterred, I revised my input to forward 10, just picking an arbitrary number. Although I was only 6 years old, I deduced that forward needed a quantity. Quantities were numbers, and well, 10 was a good start. And hooray, the turtle moved! I was in love with my turtle. From that moment on, I learned that she could also move back and turn left and right. And I didn't know what degrees were when I first met my turtle, but by the time I finished our session together, I did. That afternoon in 1981, I had learned some of a programming language called Logo. The father of Logo was a mathematician and philosopher named Seymour Papert, interested in learning how to improve mathematics education to young children in the early 1960s. He had studied under Jean Piaget, a Swiss psychologist who championed a philosophy of learning known as constructivism. Average Logo enjoyer. Piaget. Okay, well that shit's fucked up. If that's number 21, somebody has to say, yo, dog, this is a terrible, terrible index. Also, why was that man so into turtles? Okay, I got so many questions right now. We could go on and on, but let's say we could ask why TypeScript languishes at 37, well behind Delphi, Object, Pascal, Classic number 14, and Scratch. Scratch is now actually up to number 10 this year for anyone that's wondering. But you get the idea. None of this makes sense except by accident. Is it possible that even with completely wrong output, they're still lucking into correct predictions? Again, no. In the Tiobe report from March 2012, they're pessimistic about Go, a popular language in 2022. They also ranked Python low, a top 3 language today by any metric. Curiously, they can't find old reports with these bad predictions on their websites. Evaluating languages for projects. Fortunately, there are better ways to evaluate a language. Look for projects. Look for a technical fit. Can developers be hired and trained to use it? I would say a better, like something that I'm very excited about is one reason why you should consider, I know this is going to be just such a dick punch, but one reason why you should consider Rust or Go is that there's developer excitement, right? Like if I just simply said, hey, I'm looking for somebody to come program Rust with me, I would get 100,000 applications like in an instant. Real talk. I would get so many applications, it would be unbearable, right? It would be literally impossible. Will they be happy using it? Bada bing, bada boom. You can build a roller coaster in Excel. So choose a language. So anyways, what will our development velocity be on this language? What will be the operational burden of keeping it running in production? Do we need to rely on third-party code? Does that code already exist? And what is its quality? Only your team can answer these questions. It depends on your business problem, your local jobs market, your engineering budget. If you've hired smart people, they can figure this stuff out. To a lesser extent, your team needs to account for long-term trends. The language must remain a good technical fit in the future as well. It's no good if you can find developers today, but end up having to beg programmers to come out of retirement. COBOL people, that is, I can see down there, you guys probably can't see it, but it says something in shambles to find and train more COBOL programmers. Predicting the future is hard, but you can take a look at developer surveys. Okay, JetBrains, probably a good place to go check. GitHub Trends, probably a good thing. GitHub PRs by languages, probably a cool thing. Let's just check this out really quickly. What does PRs by language looks like? We see Python, real high. We see Java, JavaScript, C++, Go, TypeScript, PHP, Ruby, C, C#, Shell, Nix, Scala, Rust. Rust lost to Nix. Damn, Rust lost to Nix, man. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to lie to you. That hurts a little bit. Damn, Nix. Nix more popular than Rust. By a wide margin, too. By a wide margin. Shell, twice as popular. Notice that C# isn't very high, though. Kind of wild. It's kind of wild that C is so much higher, like gallons higher. I'm a little bit confused by that. The Octoverse Index, yeah, let's check that one out. I'm curious about the Octoverse Index. Okay, can you, do I really need to press another button to read the effing thing? Okay, just show me some languages. Okay, show me some languages. Okay, these are people. Just give me some languages. Okay, give me some languages. Okay, these are people. JavaScript remains the most popular language. Cloud native development grows. TypeScript rises past Java and the third biggest language. Okay, interesting. There we go. So now we're looking at some stuff. JavaScript, Python, TypeScript, Java, C#, C++, PHP, C, Shell, Go. Rust. Sucks to suck, man. Sucks to suck. JavaScript has once again taken the crown for #1 most popular language, and we will continue to see familiar languages such as Python and Java remain in the top 5 languages year over year. TypeScript rises in popularity. This year, TypeScript overtook Java for the first time as third most popular language across OSS projects on GitHub with 37% growth of its user base. Yeah, this one's kind of unfair. A lot of people just renamed JS to TS and slapped on a bunch of N's and called it a day. We're now TypeScript compatible. You're just like, okay, that's pretty cool. All right, anyways, all right, evaluating languages as a developer. Unlike a project that needs to pick a language and stick to it, you don't need to. If you attach your identity to a single language, drop that. You're a developer, not a language developer. Love it. Love it. Grow your toolbox over time. Love it. Your favorite programming language can't solve every problem you'll encounter in the future. Haven't heard of JavaScript, so you learn new ones periodically. If your toolbox only contains a hammer, everything starts to look like a nail. Haven't heard of JavaScript. If you've worked with garbage-collected languages, try languages that uses manual memory management, or vice versa. Okay, I like it. And if you've mostly worked with imperative languages, try a language that uses functional construct, and vice versa. Analyze a language you know and try ones that offer something different. Functional languages are interesting. I unfortunately just don't think functional languages will ever become popular. Honestly, I think DHH would like this language. I mean, would like this article. What am I saying? DHH would like this article. This is like DHH language. It's true. He talks about trying stuff, right? Like he says it quite a bit, and he's landed on the things he likes. I'm just saying this is DHH 101, if you know anything about the guy. I've read 3 of his articles on stream, and that's what I know about the guy. That's it. And they all are like this. Try heroin. You could try that one. That could be a little bit interesting. But whatever you do, don't make decisions based on the number of Google results. Agreed. A comment on Reddit pointed out that the previous articles criticizing Tiobe. It also explained why unknown languages like Delphi is so high in this index. It is because Delphi community has put a lot of effort into manipulating the Tiobe index rankings. Good for them. No way. Let me see this. That shit's so messed up. No, this is so good. This is so good. Oh my goodness. This is so hilarious. This is so hilarious. I mean, they're literally telling you how to cheat. Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. And they've been doing, look at this. That's 2008. That's 2008, and Delphi, whatever you call that, is still, it's number 13. It's growing. They are still making it work. Damn. Incredible. The name. It's Trust Tiobe. He's going to tell you the truth. Go learn Fortran, Delphi, Ada, and COBOL, and your jobs will be secure for the rest of your life. This is not financial advice. Jen.